Good morning, viewers. Today is a very good day. First of all, happy Father's Day to all our viewers today. And today is also a very special day, which is we are celebrating Thought Leadership Day in the Idea Factory. But before we go into the details of the program, let us welcome a speaker in the program, Mr. Aurobindo De. As we have already introduced him earlier, Mr. Aurobindo De is co-founder of MPIN, which is based out of Ireland, but currently he's shuttling between India and Ireland, and he's able to accompany us in a very exciting session titled The Future of Work. We welcome Mr. Aurobindo De in this program.
Thank you, Abid, for your warm welcome. Let's crack on.
Right. Okay. So let's start the session. Yes. Yes. As you can see that we celebrate our Leadership Day on June 18 every year. And just to touch you upon the storyline of Thought Leadership, as you know, the Idea Factory has a signature program called Thought Leadership, which we, developed, which are building over the years. And the term has been coined from my first book in 2029, when I used the term Thought Leadership in India, and I'm carrying it forward over the years through all the activities that I'm doing. Typically, thought leadership entails it is about innovation and futuristic thinking. June 18 is an important day in my life, and that's why I have a celebrate. I choose this day as a thought leadership day. We hope that this day becomes bigger and bigger, and more people come into the forefront. But this is a day that we try to understand what impact it has created in the world around, and whether there are people who can be acknowledged or recognized for their contribution towards thought leadership. For example, we have a session in the second half of the day today, wherein we are acknowledging the contribution of a student who has, done well in his exams, and we are recognizing his talents in the platform. Beyond that, it is, thought leadership is also about our supporting our stakeholders in the program, and the stakeholders could be the consultants, could be the customers, or even our employees. So whoever is contributing well, we are actually taking this day to acknowledge and recognize his contribution to thought leadership. And as you know, thought leadership is the concept that we are building across the business as well as the academic landscape. And so anybody who falls in these two landscapes, we are proposing supporting, taking their support going forward, right? With this introduction, today we are having a very exciting topic called the future of work. As we all know that we are going to very uncertain times in terms of the jobs that are around us, the kind of hiring that is happening, the kind of layoffs that is happening, and whether India is being able to make sense out of this uncertainty, and whether people are able to have a steady, stable career in the above times. If you ask me, I think today we are at a very more unstable situation than we were a decade ago. And a lot of things have happened. Of course, COVID has been the main contribution to this. But even then, we also have to keep on, building up a stable atmosphere in the world today, so that there are more jobs in the market, there are more interesting jobs in the market, and people can build careers around them. With this as the background, we will just start off with the topic, and maybe after I finish, Aurobindo will take forward from there. As we all know that first of all, the job, Future of Jobs report has been published by the World Economic Forum in May 2023, and that is the backdrop of the discussion today. But at the same time, we are also looking at the job scenario in India, and we find that the certain reports that have come up is the job scenario is slightly better today in 2023 vis-a-vis what it was in 2022, and that is being spurred by mostly technology and IT-enabled jobs, but also supported by financial services, FMCG, tourism, and property and construction, which also means that these are the indicators for the growth of the economy, and so the economy is slowly also picking up. So which are, good indicators for the economic growth. Going forward, we also feel that that jobs are going to come in the world report. Jobs are going to come over expanded about by 22% over the next 5 years, with a top job creation from artificial intelligence, machine learning, as well as data segments. Okay. Uh, Also, there is a statement which says that about 88% of young employees are planning to change their jobs, which means that that is also an unstable phase for young employees, where they have not found the best fit. And whether as a country are we able to give jobs to people who are and for which they can continue over the long term careers. Hiring levels are also dropping to some extent. While there are jobs, but also some of the companies are dropping. And 78% of people have also said they would be confident of moving. So there is a scenario where jobs are not available. There is also a scenario the best kind of jobs are also not available. Okay, so that being the scenario, let us also look into the current job or the work outlook in India. We are looking at both the quality as well as the quantity of jobs, and we look at the in terms of the quality of the job, we see this is mostly IT and tech driven, and also mostly volume driven. So in terms of quality, do are people happy with the job that they are getting, or is there a freedom to improve or develop their role beyond the set pattern, because the set pattern is given and then there's a lot of volume about it. Only a few days back, I was talking to a few candidates and they were saying that we have to work over the weekends also. There is no time boundaries that are available for the jobs in India. Also, there have been recent incidents where your toxic work cultures have come over in the forefront, and that is also where that we have experienced during our working days, and even today that is also happening. Whether organizations are able to build a very healthy work culture, or there are people who are building toxicity within the organization, and also to what extent jobs are original in India, to what extent these are shadow jobs from the West. A large proportion of the jobs that we create are coming from the West, and mostly all of them are shadow jobs. Okay, and if you take up shadow job, the quality, just like water flowing, the quality of the job that will reach India, because it will be an outsourced model, the kind of jobs that will reach India will definitely not be the best version of the job. So definitely, in terms of the quality of the homegrown jobs are perhaps the best ones to improve the quality of the jobs. In terms of quantity, also we see there is no proper data available for people to know what kind of jobs. Is there a national data bank which says that these are the kind of jobs that are available during the year? These are the kind of recruitment, these are the profiles. There is no such data bank, unlike the developed economies, which publish data reports every month, which gives a clear indication of the growth of the economy by the creation of jobs in the market. And let us remember the job addition is a clear indication of the growth of the economy. But unfortunately, in India, we do not have a job data bank. At the same time, there are so many layoffs happening. So in the whole process, there's a very low job security in the whole process. And this, puts us into a lot of questions. So on one side, there is a low job satisfaction. On the other side, there is also low job security. With these kind of thoughts, I pass on the question to Aurobindo. Aurobindo, if you can put in some thoughts on what is the job scenario currently in India, wherever in the abroad scenario as well.
See, Abid, thanks for your brilliant presentation. Now, one thing I will kind of echo you is that the job market is changing. Right? We need to see how the market dynamics in the job front is quite different to what it was, say, a couple of decades ago. So you on one of the slides, you alluded to the fact that the financial sector is growing, tourism sector is coming back up, IT is growing. Everything, if you look at it right at the moment, are quite technology driven. Even the financial services sector or medtech sector, edtech sector, everything has a tech bit added to it. So fintech, edtech, medtech are the ways to go. And the tech is what you mentioned on your second slide, is artificial intelligence, machine learning, data dissemination, and stuff like that. So if you are looking at the sectorial growth in job, it is mainly IT. Now that IT could be now feeding financial sector, that feeding tourism sector, or that could be feeding the medical sector. And that is a common scenario all across the world. It's not just in India, it's also abroad. The difference between the job quality and quantity that you have been talking about in India and abroad, the quality of job that you get abroad are obviously more cleaner and better than the ones you get in India, simply because of the roll forward of the shadow jobs of West that is rolling into the country. And unfortunately, now this is a scenario because I'm shuttling between Ireland and India and UK. I kind of see the way things are moving in various parts. I also have a big presence in Dubai, in the Middle East. And what I am noticing that everywhere, if you are knowledgeable, if you have an experience of abroad where things have been better and you want to bring it in, there is a huge impetus to have you inducted into that program in that country. Like when I land up in Dubai, they said, no, come on, work with us. Tell us what to do. And because you have been doing that in Europe, they have been successful. So I'm just going to copy that here. That drive, that impetus is not in India. In India, the main idea is that, okay, what we are doing is working hours, we are getting money at the end of the month, and that's it, thanks. So that out-of-box thinking, that innovation, the drive towards moving towards a new thing is probably slow to pick up. Having said that, India is an incredible market, super opportunity. So I'm sure it will happen, but India being India, always a little bit slow to pick up. But if I, being a European person, living there and working on medtech sector for so long, if I try to look for a job here, it's unlikely that I will get a good job because it is so very restricted to what they do. You do not want to go out and think something new where somebody's bringing in a new IT. That is not there. So that problem in the job sector always remains. And the jobs are switching as well, as we have just mentioned. So you're moving more towards technology. So there is a significant bit of upskilling required in most of the areas. And that upskilling, either you can take through the shadow jobs or you drive yourself. The driving yourself bit is where you need new brain. You don't need an expert to tell them what to do. You need an expert for him to tell you what to do. That is what the definition of an expert is. So that mindset is probably what you need here now and need it quickly. On the other hand, now if I'm looking at the European perspective now, let us get out of India for a while and talk about Europe. The way they are working is, it is an experience. Job is no longer a job that pays you salary and gives you holidays. Job is an experience. It's like a theme park. It's not just putting up a roller coaster in the middle of nowhere. You need to have a theme park. There needs to be an experience. So world is moving towards that. So when you're going to the office, it doesn't need to be a desk and a computer. This needs to be something else. It needs to be an experience. You need to go to job to do something. So they adopt things like flexible working hours, work from anywhere. They give you free medical, access to medtech things like MPIL, allow MPIL to kind of connect him anywhere, anytime with any doctor they like. So this is an experience. You join challenges and everything that is happening all over the world in the organization and kind of work on a single platform. So that is where MPIL comes in and they help it. Now, this is prevalent in Europe. I'm not expecting that in India right away. However, if you're looking at how the job movement is happening, as an employer, if you're only providing a desk and a computer, I doubt you'll get the talent in European perspective. You need to provide them something more over and above the salary, something which is an experience. So that's how job market is moving at the moment. And number wise, I think Europe is suffering for a bit of recession, and the Russian war with Ukraine is draining the resources as it is. So market is a little tight at the moment. However, it always moves. It always moves in the right direction, and particularly with AI, ML, and data dissemination being on the highlight, a lot of technical jobs are available all over. And so that is no different in Europe than in India. And India is making good strides as well. So I'm hopeful that the bridge will be made. That's my top and sword, really.
Right. Yeah. So Aurobindo, let's continue with the discussion. I think these are very good insights, and as you rightly said, India has a long way to go, and because we are kind of following the world, So obviously there are certain things, but that is why the idea factory is playing a very strong role. And let's come to the next topic now. What are the kind of jobs that are shaping up in the near future? Now, this is information on this is obviously taken from certain highlights of the report, Future of Jobs report, and it's a very top-down figures that I have, not specific to India. Worldwide, what is the trend that is happening? And these are actually, outputs from the world report. So, which typically says that artificial intelligence is the way the importance of artificial intelligence is going to increase in terms of creating jobs. And just now, the whole world is talking about Chat GPT, and how it's going to make a lot of roles, irrelevant. That is also a concern that many people happening. But as you rightly said, tech has always been a disruptor over a period of time. When we started our careers also, maybe it was not at this level, but during that time also, the question of computerization vis-a-vis manual jobs, say, and even today, as people need to move up the ladder, and so that their non-intelligent jobs will be taken care of by automation within the organization. So there is a decline of the routine and the administrative roles through digitization and automation, because automation is going to take care of, and a lot of things have also been automated. I remember during our working days there was so much of number crunching, and within 2 years that entire number crunching job got eliminated, because automated reports are coming every month. So that kind of made life much more better and easier. So there, on one side, people are frightful, but at the same time, the organizations also have to understand that letting people go is not the right solution. Maybe you need to upskill themselves and make people relevant for the next role, rather than taking them, okay, they cannot. And I think that is one of the major things. While you expect employees to think out of the box, employers also have to think out of the box, because as soon as they automate something, and these layoffs are actually a clear indication that whether people can move from fixed salary to flexi salary, or part-time role, rather than shifting people out. And people, I think people should have learned their lessons during COVID times, because a lot of debate happened whether people should be let go during COVID times or not. But unfortunately, most of the layoffs that are happening in most companies are completely up. Either you have a full-time job or you have zero, and that too in mass layoffs. Typically, we always recommend, and we talk only to small businesses, not the big guys. But of course, we always say that you juggle people between your full time and a part time role. At least that's what we are doing. And ensure that they are stay within your system, because you have built them up over such a period of time. In terms of drivers of future growth, we are talking of big data analytics, environment management, because climate change is also continues at a real change, and also we talk about the electric vehicles, and the what do we say, the alternative energy mechanism is also a very strong focus. Cyber security, as more and more things become digital, cyber security becomes more important. So a lot of business drivers are, it's all tech, as you rightly said. These are different names or different verticals. Tech is evolving, tech is developing, and most of the people are actually the end user. That ultimately the customer experience is going to improve, and how tech is going to improve. As we have seen during the COVID times, how home delivery of services and products have made life so much easier for the customer, and that is going to continue over a period of time. The biggest drivers of job losses are pure economic growth. If the economic growth is not good, of course, organizations are forced to let go of jobs, and that is what is happening in every economy worldwide. Okay. A little bit of snapshots of the kind of growth that we are foresee over a period of time is, of course, the tech jobs. And what are the fastest declining are the ones, who will be replacing the menial jobs. So typically, while the job will reduce, what we foresee or what we recommend is also to upgrade or upskill people to the next level, so that they can move to the better level. So there is a need for more and more qualified people, so that they can upgradation is easy. The only thing is that if you take unqualified people, the upgradation becomes difficult, and then job loss perhaps is the only solution for more majority of them. There is also a kind of snapshot that we have in terms of the top skills. Now that a lot of the roles are being automated, a lot human beings are supposed to do the thinking jobs. So the importance of the thinking jobs are going to improve, the way you communicate with people and all those things which are you need human intervention those roles are slowly going to improve. And typically, when you have artificial intelligence, the real intelligence of people are going to decide whether how you're going to apply them. So a lot of soft skills are going to be improved, required as we move ahead. Okay, so these are some of the thoughts, and then there will be a lot of work trends that are, so a lot of studies are being done. These are mostly very top level and worldwide, but India, as we say, is a shadow. We follow the shadow, and most of these trends do come to India, and India gets governed with these. As the startup ecosystem develops, of course, India is trying its best to build its own independent, working model, and a mix of this worldwide trend as well as the independent working model will also be, best way. With this kind of thought, I mean, I pass on to Aurobindo. If you can share something about the jobs that we see in the near future.
Sorry, I was mute while I was talking. I kind of already touched upon this in my last question that jobs are moving more towards AI, intelligence and data dissemination. And that is being distributed to various application areas, which you call the industry verticals. So I really not much to add on that. And what you said is right. There will be some jobs which is declining, which is the minion job, which he has to do. And we are getting more technical oriented, and machines and intelligence are going to, machine level intelligence going to override human intelligence in a while on those areas. Most of the human intelligence will go into kind of high-end work, going to create those data level. So what you said is actually right. We have to do this. And just that India getting all those development work, like 75% of entire coding of the world is done in India. So all the coding that we are doing all over the world, 75% is happening in India. So India will get the coding job, and more job will grow here, obviously, because we need more coding. But that is not the primary job. Primary job is happening somewhere else. India is providing the shadow, the downstream. So that's the problem. And unless we embrace outside ideas, we open ourselves to new ways of thinking, there's a bit of a distance to travel, I'm afraid.
Right. I think these are very exciting thoughts. Okay, now let's continue with the discussion. We come to the last question of the section, and typically, ultimately comes to the role of the idea factory as to whether we are, in a way, capable of influencing the future of work in some way. First of all, standing today where we are a very small unit. So, but at the same time, our concept is very bigger. So when we started off, our concept has been much bigger and very vast and global. So that way we can speak a lot of them. But in terms of size today, we are kind of very small. But as an entrepreneur or idea factory, as you know, that we are talking about ideas, innovation, creativity. So we have the power to create high value aspirational jobs within the company itself. I mean, as you know, that we have startup called the Idea Factory and the Learning Hall. So within our system, we have the power to create aspiration value. And that was one of the main thought processes when I created the Idea Factory after leaving the job, because obviously the idea was to create something better than what was available, what I experienced as in the job market. And obviously, not only me, I thought there would be many people who would be looking for aspirational jobs in the future. So that was one of the thought that had already gone, and that stays to improve the quality of the, and that's what we are offering to all the people that we have. But also because we are consultants, we are working with a very small organizations, not the very big ones. But we also have the power to create higher level jobs in them, because we are allowing them to, we are encouraging them to think big. So that also is, we are in a position to influence people to develop better or higher level jobs in the country. Okay, so that is also a very very good point that we have in the idea factory. And not only we consult businesses, we are also associated with a few forums also. So as a national think tank, we also believe we have the power to influence suitable policy making in the country. There are so many areas where actually national policies need to be built up. For example, we have talking about layoffs so many times, like people can take in people, and people on one side there were these trade unions, we recall, where which was a very big difficulty in letting go of people, and was one of the major reasons why kind of businesses did not flourish in Bengal. on the other end of the extreme, we have these companies who are letting go of people every other day. So these are two areas, two extremes of the spectrum, and we feel that there's a huge, possibility of a stable policy making in the country, which will allow it to, stabilize certain amount of jobs, because these are national responsibilities of stakeholders of the. As an employer, we are national, we have national responsibility. We just cannot recruit people today, and after 6 months we cannot let it go. I mean, that is what I think as an entrepreneur, and I would encourage it to all the people. So there are various roles that we can play as an entrepreneur, as a consulting firm, and as a national think tank. Within the Idea Factory, as you know, we cover, and of course the learning hall. You know that the thought leadership concept is pretty big, and it encompasses the learning hall, it encompasses the Idea Factory, it encompasses business writing. While we talk about the Idea Factory a lot, we don't talk too much about the learning hall as well as business writing. Learning hall also has an opportunity to, impact, and to create better jobs in the market, which we will see in the next slide. And business writing also, has the opportunity to create better jobs. So these are some thoughts that we have put it together. The dotted lines are typically the jobs that we can create within our own setup. Okay, so typically the strategy planning roles that we can create, better, higher quality teachers that we can create, or business writers or authors which are associated with us. So all the three verticals, we can create better jobs, and we are trying to create better jobs over there. But at the same time, as we said, since we are working with organizations also, and academic institutes also, we also have the power to influence and have creative professionals over there, and creative stable organizations within India and abroad also. In terms of creative, learning hall not only can help in creating teachers, but as you rightly said, it is about tech. So obviously there would be a requirement about videos, learning materials, study materials. So all of these things can come up. And also the learning hall is, encouraging science and technology to come into the forefront. As a country, we feel that science and technology has a lot of power to transform the country, and somehow it has been relegated to the background over the last 2 decades. Most of us, both you and me, are both engineers from reputed institutes, but we all know how engineering has no more the prime focus today, or even if it is, it goes on to the IT zone. So whatever engineering you do, it actually moves into the IT zone. So we believe that there's a lot of potential for science and technology and overall manufacturing or industrialization for versions. So there's a lot of effort that we are bringing in through the learning hall to bring science and technology as an importance out there. In terms of business writing, we are not only writing, but we are also, connected to writers and readers. More important, if there is no reader, there are no writers. So we are also building the reading market. We are talking to businesses, and for us, the reading market will be the businesses themselves. We are not talking of the B2C market so much, but we are talking of the B2B. So business author, if we can write better, obviously, will be readers out there. And at the same time, when we are talking of learning hall, also there could be academic writers more. So we are also promoting writing as an important element. Now, I think Chat GPT is also assisting. I was today seeing some ad when Chat GPT is assisting writers to that you give the skill sets, and we are going to write it for you. So a lot of technologies are also coming in front to help writers put in flesh into the whole writing process. And these are a kind of the efforts that we are trying to bring in through the Idea Factory. Okay. At the same time, Idea Factory, what are the thought leadership initiatives that we are taking? As you told you, other than that, we are creating, as we told you, there is no major, job creation database available in the country. And we believe that there is a need, and we are working towards it to create a kind of a job database where you in the country should know it's a dashboard. Just like if you created a dashboard for COVID, it's a world-class dashboard for COVID. Why don't we have a dashboard for jobs in terms of the quantity, in terms of the quality, how many jobs are created? That also put you kind of a spotlight on the organization that are recruiting and creating jobs in the market. So also a data bank for jobs, so that people can know these are the kind of jobs. It's still very, organization centric, and people have to run around, but there is no central database or website or something that people can post their jobs and people can enter there. There's a lot of opportunity. People would be greatly benefited for this. Also, to build a stable business environment, as we told you that we believe that we have not grown in an unstable environment, but we are a modern society, and the whole business environment has become so very unstable. The customer has become unstable, the business has become unstable, the individuals have also become very unstable. So it is very important to bring certain amount of stability into the business climate, and we are working towards it. Also to strengthen the job policies in the country. All in all, I think we are trying to help build India as a knowledge destination of the world. It's a tall order considering the size that we are today, but definitely that is one of our focus areas that as we want to go forward. Okay, and just to conclude with to make India a global knowledge hub by 2030, the way things are moving, I don't see that we can make a huge contribution to this role, but we are trying our level best for whatever we are doing. With this thought, I think I pass on to Aurobindo. Aurobindo, if you can just throw some more lights on the same topic.
No, I think what you said is dead right. And it's good to know what Idea Factory is trying to do. If you need any help, I'm always available, and I can act as the bridge between Europe and India and help Idea Factory grow in there as well. And any clients of Idea Factory who wants to approach that market, we can give them a help. And in my last session, as mentioned, I also wear a hat called Ireland India Business Association. I'm one of the active members of this Ireland chapter, so I can build them up if they want to. But what you said is dead right, and it's great to see how Idea Factory is trying to help India become a global knowledge destination. That's fantastic.
Right. I think that's all from us today. I think we thank our viewers for being in the session, and we hope to continue with our session with high-end topics like this. Thank you, Aurobindo, for being in the session, and let's work together to make India and the world a better place.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.